Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Keith Robinson.
Welcome, y'all, to another edition of Diggin Deep with your host, Keith Robinson. Today, we have something that I want to talk about that I think is very important with making it in this life, handling problems in this life. So I named this secular versus spiritual because I think it's very important to know the difference. And before we get into it, let's go ahead and define those two, secular and spiritual. Secular is attitudes, activities, or any other things that have no religious or spiritual basis. That's very important. No religious or spiritual basis. Now, spiritual, relating to or affecting the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. And that is very, very important, this part. As opposed to material or physical things. Excuse me. Now, I thought that important because, again, like I was saying, knowing the difference between these two things formulates how I attack them or not attack them. And what I mean by that is when a situation comes to me or occurs, I say, okay, here's the situation. Now, is this a physical or secular attack? Or is this a spiritual, unseen forces and principalities attack? It's very important to know the difference. Now, my first example is when Jesus Christ himself was on trial before his crucifixion, that he knew was going to happen. That's very important, that he knew this crucifixion was coming. It was the cup that he would have to drink from. Now he's in trial and this prosecutor is accusing him of everything except being a child of God, and called him everything except a child of God. Now I'm sitting there thinking, what would I be thinking if I was in that courtroom and they're giving Jesus the business? He's this, he's that, claims he's a king, he's inciting riots. And I'm like, okay, Jesus, come on. And they said, what do you say? What say you? And I'm like, come on, Jesus, give him the business. You're Jesus, give him the business. And to my surprise, all he said was, I know you. And the prosecutor laughed and scoffed and looked around and said, I don't know this man from Adam, and he doesn't know me. And again, Jesus replied, you know I know you. Now, the breakdown of that is that Jesus knew about the unseen forces and principalities. And he knew and recognized this one as spiritual attack. Now, my mother said, baby, be careful out there in that world, secular world, because some of the people that you encounter are hellbound. Woo! Now that's powerful. No matter what you say or what you do, some people that you encounter are hellbound. Well, you better hope these people that encounter don't have a big influence over you, like some of us do. Now, I've got another example of an unseen force, an unseen attack, or a spiritual force. Now, here's the real world example. I had a surgery scheduled. Now, little did I know that every so often, maybe every 5 years or so, doctors get with their corporate sponsors, the leaders, in Texas it's THR, the conglomerates of the medical industry. And they look at their contracts. They go into contract negotiations. Now, in this particular year when my surgery was scheduled, they were just happened to be in the negotiations. Now, what that means is no set price was set. So doctors weren't getting paid because no contract was signed. Now, that's important because if doctors aren't getting paid, then guess what? Doctors won't do surgeries. Right. My health is on the line, yet I'm in between negotiations of principality. Now, me being blessed and favored, when I found this out, I brought it to the nurse admin, and she said, oh, don't worry about it. Your doctor's going to do the surgery anyway. Whew. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Master. But it really got me to thinking, these conglomerates, the people, the blue bloods, the ones at the top, care more about their money than they do about people's health, me in particular in this instance. And I thought that very deflating. And I knew this world is based on money, but that's one way where I found out in my life how it pertains directly to me. Now, with that being said, again, like I said, I was blessed. His grace was up on thee. And I still got my surgery. It was a success, but I digress. Just trying to show you that there's principalities that you can't see that directly affect you. So now, how do you fight those? Gentlemen, when you are in a dispute, an argument, an altercation with, let's say, your mate, where we know that he is there, him, little H-I-M, is there to cause chaos, confusion, and destruction. Now, knowing the difference between secular and spiritual, the first thing you would do, or I would do in that situation, is realize it's not her that's attacking me. It's only flesh. The forces and the principalities are using her as a conduit to attack me. See, so once I realize that that's spiritual, well, I say, Master, what do I do? Do I pursue or do I be still? And of course, in this situation, with it being a spiritual attack, I can't fight those. But there's good news. There's someone who can. So I say prayed up. I stay prayed up. Staying ready so I don't have to get ready. And I say, Father, what do I do? And he said, do it. And so I say, Satan, evil one, my enemy, you know the rules and you have to abide by his authority. So leave so I can talk to my woman. Whoa, that's powerful. And it hasn't failed yet. Now she might say, you don't be calling me no devil. I was not talking to you. I was talking to him. And if I got to go open this door, go open the window, I will. I come back from opening that door, open that window, and I say, now, can I talk to my woman? That's for free, y'all. You can have it. Because you trying to fight flesh with flesh, how does that end up? It balloons. It gets blown out of proportion. That's because you're fighting something that you cannot win against. So know your power and know when to move out the way and let those forces and principalities get dealt with. That's powerful stuff. And that's in each and every one of you. I got a little saying. Fighting with flesh, we pass that. Give it to God, and we get suited and booted. Make it hazmat. Yeah, that's how we coming. When you come with those forces, we're going to fight them back with an equal and, matter of fact, a more powerful force. And hopefully, this is for someone, one person, to realize after today, I will quit fighting with flesh. And I will move out the way. Like the Temptations, when they back out, that's right. Move out the way and let someone who can handle unseen forces and principalities. And you want to talk about a victory? You want to talk about a triumph? Try it. Don't hurt. You've been doing it your way all this time. How's that working out for you? So again, I offer you something to try. If you're already at your wit's end, move out the way and give it to a force that was built to defeat it so you can be triumphant. Yeah. Victory is ours. And you're more than a conqueror. I'm Keith Robinson, digging deep on the Marvel Knot Network.